WrestleMania 14 is not often looked at as one of the great WrestleManias of all time, but in my personal opinion, it's definitely in the top 10, if not in the top 5. It has so many great things about it, and it truly signified the birth of the great era known as the Attitude Era, which is WWE's best era in my opinion, and I know in a lot of yours too. HBK Shawn Michaels has the heart of a lion, and him putting over Stone Cold Steve Austin like he did here on his way out was pure class on his part, especially with him being on drugs and him being all fucked up all the time. So, yeah, there you go. It has one of the hottest crowds you will ever see, and it has J.R. and Jerry the King Lawler announcing. So, obviously, it's amazing. So, let's get right down to the match. So, here we go. We kick WrestleMania off with a 15-team battle royal, which featured the teams of Los Bucores with Savio Vega and three other teammates. Los Boricuas. I hope I'm pronouncing that. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. It has Savio Vega and three other guys from them. Sniper and Recon from the Truth Commission. Flash Funk and Steve Blackman. Bradshaw and Chains. D'Lo Brown, Mark Henry, Farouk, and Kama Mustafa representing the Nation of Domination. Jacques Rougeau and Pierre Ouellette representing the Quebecers. Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson representing the Rock and Roll Express. Thrasher and Mosh from the Headbangers. Scott Taylor and Brian Christopher from Too Much. 8-Ball and Skull from Disciples of the Apocalypse. And Phineas and Ferb, the Godwins. Phineas and Henry, the Godwins. Wow. Phineas and Henry, the Godwins. Bart and Bob, the New Midnight Express. And also LOD 2000, Hawk and Animal. A loud pop for LOD's return. I'm not a big fan of tag team battle royals. But this one was a pretty good one. Especially when, I'm not really a big fan of tag team battle royals, especially when one partner gets eliminated, the whole team is eliminated. That's just pretty dumb. But this match was very predictable. Even when you first see it, it's obvious you knew LOD was going to win that. Looking at Sonny for 8 or so minutes, it definitely helps. So, yeah, you pretty much knew who was going to win. Alright, so LOD wins that match. The next match was very interesting. It's for the Light Heavyweight Championship, one of my all-time favorite championships. The Light Heavyweight Championship, Taka Michinoku defending his championship against Aguila. I'm really bad with the names. Aguila, who was also known as Esarios later on. But Aguila, Taka comes out to a surprising pop for his entrance. It is a fast, high-flying, and very exciting match. If these two men had more time, this would have surely tore the freaking roof off with their stuff. 5.5 minutes, or 5 minutes and 45 seconds. Taka wins with the Michinoku driver, and it was a very awesome match. Now we get the European Championship match. Triple H defending against Owen Hart, and the stipulation here was China would be handcuffed to Sergeant Slaughter, who was the commissioner at the time. Pretty nice pop for Owen Hart. Pretty mixed reactions for Triple H. A really, really nice, really underrated match that ranks among one of my favorites in WrestleMania, actually. The two mix well together, and Owen can go with pretty much anybody. But either way, Triple H wins with China's outside interference. And I think they threw salt in Owen Hart's eyes or something. I think he threw salt in Owen's eyes. Yeah, that sounds about right. Now we got a mixed tag match. Mark Marrow and Sable against Goldust and Luna Vachon. Um, a decent pop for Sable here, which was unheard of for that time, for women especially. Sable actually looks hot, surprisingly. And the crowd was just eating her up, if you know what I mean. Constant Sable chants and them erupting almost every time, and the crowd almost erupting every single time she got in the ring. Not bad for a mixed tag match. It had some entertaining antics and passed the time very well. Sable's team wins when Sable hits the TKO, which was Mark Marrow's finisher. So she pretty much stole Mark Marrow's finish. So there you go. Now we got the Intercontinental Championship match. Ken Shamrock versus The Rock for the Intercontinental Championship. Before I review this match, I'd like to note that The Rock showed off his immense potential with his interview before the match. Yeah, you could just tell he was on to bigger and better things. Pretty nice pop for Shamrock, but there was big time heel heat for The Rock. It was too disappointing. It was pretty short. This match was very short. It was so disappointing. And I thought the ending was kind of stupid, though. Shamrock's snapping antics were awesome to see, and the crowd went nuts for it. You know, Ken Shamrock. Yeah, it was freaking amazing. So The Rock kept his title when the ref reversed the decision. And there was a stipulation. If The Rock got disqualified, he would lose the title to Ken Shamrock. So, yeah, the referee reversed his decision. It was pretty ridiculous. Now we got the dumpster match for the tag team championship. We got, who was it? Oh yeah, Cactus Jack and Terry Funk against the New Age Outlaws. The Outlaws are not as over as they were going to be at this time, which is kind of shocking because they were still entertaining as hell, and I was hoping that, the Boston crowd would eat them, would just love them, but I guess not. The crowd was actually somewhat dead for this, but I thought it was pretty good to have but this match did have some good hardcore bits with some sick looking bumps. But in the end, Cactus Jack and Terry Funk win the titles in the end, only to lose it the next night on Raw. What are you gonna do? Next match, I was really looking forward to back in the day. This match is probably the reason why I bought this pay-per-view in the first place. The Undertaker versus Kane. Big ovation for The Undertaker. But before the Undertaker makes his entrance, we get a special appearance by a certain baseball star known as Pete Rose. He pretty much badmouths the city of Boston because he was from Cincinnati, and the Cincinnati Reds also were known as the Big Red Machine. But out comes the Big Red Machine and tombstones. Kane tombstones Pete Rose, which was actually hilarious because my dad, who was a big baseball fan back then, still is, he absolutely loved that whole bit. He thought that was just great. I liked it too. So anyway, back to the match. Big ovation for The Undertaker, obviously. Much better than his outing at WrestleMania 20. If this match was much better than their match at WrestleMania 20. And for a big man versus big man match, this one was very well good. Very good. It was a great all-out brawl with The Undertaker taking a sick-looking bump through the table. And the WWE was smart by making Kane look strong, even through defeat. After two tombstones, I thought that was over. I mean, Kane, I didn't think he was that strong. He kicked out of two tombstones, but it took 3 tombstones to take him out. So after three tombstones, Taker finally puts away his brother. This match was absolutely great. I highly recommend you guys check this out. Now, we get to the main event of WrestleMania 14, we got the WWF Championship match. Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, defending his championship against Stone Cold Steve Austin, with the special enforcer being Iron Mike Tyson. There was a lot of heat for Mike Tyson, and deservingly so, but the crowd goes absolutely apeshit for Stone Cold Steve Austin. Definitely one of the biggest pops I've ever heard in my entire life. But there was a mixed reaction for Shawn Michaels, and deservingly so, because he had a lot of politics back then. This is truly a special matchup. One of the greatest WrestleMania main events in history, without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt. You can tell when JR is out of breath. Yeah, without a doubt, one of the best. HBK gives it his all, and in what was supposed to be his last match, and Austin, well, yeah, HBK, because it was supposed to be his last match with his bad back and all, and Austin and Stone Cold Steve Austin has rarely been better when it comes to main eventing. The animosity and electricity of the crowd is amazing, and it's as exciting as it gets. Austin wins with a stunner, with Tyson joining Team 316 by knocking out Shawn Michaels in the end. Yeah, this match was great. Back and forth action. Austin's celebratory victory is a wonder to behold. One of the noisiest crowds you will ever see, and Jerry Lawler said it right. They were going nuts. And that was WrestleMania 14 for you guys. Bottom line, WrestleMania 14 is one of the greatest WrestleManias for real. I definitely agree with that. It has everything you want in WrestleMania, and it truly kickstarted the Attitude Era in full force. WrestleMania is very special to me because, yeah, I'll say it. It was the first WrestleMania I ever saw back in 1998, and yeah, the Attitude Era had begun. All right, so out of 10, I'm going to rate WrestleMania 14. Let's go with 9.5 out of 10. Best match on the show easily is Undertaker versus Kane, in my opinion, and my least favorite match is Rock versus Ken Shamrock. So there you go. There's WrestleMania 14. Coming up next, WrestleMania 15.